Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, I have David Caires. And your Boston Celtics have defeated the Orlando Magic with a final score of 111 to 107. The Boston Celtics came up with a huge win against the Magic, falling the day before in the in-season tournament, and however bounced back and got a huge win. David, you know the drill. What are our initial thoughts after this big win? And it's not a big win on the scoreboard, but like a big win for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, really good to bounce back against Orlando, obviously, after a tough loss on Friday. That was a game you feel like you could have won. Just kind of slipped away from us at the end. And just great to honestly correct our mistakes from that game. It wasn't obviously pretty from start to finish in this one. We actually fell behind 21-9 to start this one. Then we went on a bit of a run to end the first quarter to get back into it. And then obviously we went on a run to start the fourth quarter to go up 11 points. And then Orlando came back into it with a 10-2 run. But we were able to get the win. And I don't want this to sound like a hyperbole, but like that, those last few minutes were the most clutch I've seen the Celtics be in like a little bit, probably since the championship season. We had the final three important possessions where Derek White hit a huge three. I might be getting the order wrong, but Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Jordan Walsh all hit dagger threes, and we got the final stop when we needed it. That was the most clutch I've seen the Celtics probably in a couple years. Yeah, since we won the championship. So it's good to get back in the win column. Shout out to everyone who played. We got really contributions from every single person in the rotation who played, even if they weren't showing up in the box column. So yeah, it's just good to leave Orlando, a team that you figure is going to figure it out at some point or not. I know they're struggling to start out the season, but it's good to leave Orlando with one win and two tries.
Yeah, and on the podcast, the weekly podcast, we talked about, you know, do we get both wins in Orlando? And we said no. We thought we got one out of the two games. It's a tough series. I don't think the Celtics win two out of them. I think the Orlando Magic are more established than we are. And getting that second game was very, very important. And I want to almost give a quote, and Tommy and Andrew would love this one if they were here. But, I was broadcasting a SMCC game yesterday, and we'll get into SMCC later on in this recap. But yesterday at the end, they were throwing down dunks and having fun, and the bench was getting hyped and the energy they were giving off. And the same thing happened later that night with the Boston Celtics. Luka Garza was giving crazy energy. Jaylen Brown was screaming, as we like to say, as Lewis's little funny punchline. We know that one, David. You guys are OGs if you remember that one. But Luka Garza and Jaylen Brown was screaming at the crowd. Jordan Walsh was getting into it, but great game. And what were your thoughts down the stretch, how the Celtics played? Because they were incredible towards the end of the game.
Right. Kind of. I kind of talked about it a little bit in my
Yeah.
first answer, but we were just so clutch down the stretch, and like
And
really everyone had their chance to shine. Like our stars, White and Brown, obviously had the big 3-point shots at the end. Anthony Simons was huge in getting us into that game, getting us back into the game and giving us a lead in that first half. He didn't score in the second half, but he was huge towards the end of that first quarter, second quarter stint there. And Luka Garza, of course, we were texting about it, me and you, Griffin, last night down the stretch, how clutch he was. That was easily his best performance of the young season through 11 games. And even guys like Hugo Gonzalez, a plus 19 in 13 minutes, even though he only had 3 points, he hit a huge three at the time. Jordan Walsh got another near 30-minute stint with a plus 13, filling up the stat sheet, 6 points, 5 rebounds, or excuse me, 6.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Sam Hauser, he didn't really, he was still a plus 6, even though he didn't score. But like, we played 10 people last night, and I was very, very impressed with how deep we went into the rotation and how everyone was just giving solid minutes at one point or another. So this was probably, I don't know if this is my favorite one of the season so far, but this is up there at least for now because we just got the job done, and it wasn't a game that was handed to us. It wasn't a blowout win, but we were clutch, and like that's something that I'm excited to see if we can continue to be clutch with this team as well. I mean, it's been said so many times before. Everyone in the whole world knows the Celtics are a very different constructed team compared to even just last season, just given all the talent we lost. But I'm excited to see how this team continues to do in clutch situations.
Yeah, and again, for the Magic, I mean, it was 3 people for the Orlando Magic. Suggs had 20 points in 29 minutes, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and shot 75%, and a 21 plus minus positive. So I mean, he was great. Wagner was great as well. And in 37 minutes, had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and shot 29.4. So rough there, but Bancaro is always good too. And in 35 minutes, had 28 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot 56.3%. So those three really scoring still played a great effort on the Boston Celtics. And one thing I do want to kind of hit at is, and I'm wondering if you agree with this, David, but Derek White had a better game, and we'll get into that in a second. But Desmond Bain and Derek White, do you think they're having similar years where they're just underperforming?
I mean, that's how it seems like right now. Yeah, I mean, we
Mm.
can just look at Bane's stats last night, just 9 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, he had 6 assists, so the playmaking was there, but definitely seems like Orlando's expecting a little bit more out of him. I mean, again, we got to take all these things with a grain of salt because we're only 11 games into the season, but they gave up a ton of future assets. Orlando did to get Desmond Bain. I believe they gave up 5 first-round picks and a couple
Yeah.
members of their rotation, like KCP being one of them. So absolutely, given that criteria, he's underperforming so far this season. And I mean, Derek White too. He's off to a bit of a slow start. Still didn't shoot the ball amazingly last night. I mean, obviously he had the huge shot last night at the end, which I mean, obviously makes the whole game worth it for me if Derek White's clutch at the end of the game when we need him at his best. But he shot 7 for 8 from the field. Excuse me, 7 for 18 from the field last night. 3 for 9 from three. I did really like his defense last night, though. He had some really clutch steals, so you're going to get that from Derek White. Um, for me, I guess just with D White looking at a longer term perspective, if this shooting slump for him continues by like the 20th game of the season, I'm probably going to be more willing to hit the panic button. But right now, I honestly just think we're still a little bit too early. I mean, he went through this slump last year too in early 2025, like January, February, and then he was able to get out of it. I mean, it happens to every shooter.
It
Um,
does.
so we'll see. I'm cautious to hit the panic button again with that, but if this is still a conversation we're having in a couple weeks, then yeah, my answer might change. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see where it goes.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention is the Orlando Magic only out rebounded us by 1 rebound, 42 opposed to 41. And the turnover rate, the Boston Celtics won 14 turnovers opposed to 17 turnovers.
41.
David in his 41. Love it. But overall, not a bad game. And another name I want to mention too is Nemias Queta, who isn't in mention for Celtics Nation Rise MVP, but still giving some contributions with 8 points and 6 rebounds. And you already mentioned Jordan Walsh; he was phenomenal tonight. And like you look at the Boston Celtics as a whole, I thought they played very good team basketball. Again, only playing like 10 guys, like you said, but still overall, great team basketball. And it came down to the wire. And do you have any final thoughts before we get ready to dive into Celtics Nation Rise MVP?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just 100% agree. Like one of the things I'll look at in terms of playing well, I always like to look at like the attempted field goals comparing us to our opponent, and we got 6 more shots up than Orlando. So we had 85 shots. We went 40 for 85, and Orlando only got 79 shots up. And we had 14 turnovers, which obviously is a little bit higher given an uncharacteristic number for the Celtics, but the Magic had a few more than us. And We had one more assist to them. So yeah, I mean, I just love the playmaking last night too, and it's going to be that sort of team. We're gonna need to work as a team this year. It's going to be all hands on deck. It's going to take a village, as we've seen so far, for the Celtics to keep racking up these W's as the season progresses.
You said it right there. And we're just going to take a quick pause before we go into Celtics Nation Rise MVP for today's sponsor. National Rafts Across America Day is Saturday, December 13th. You can join in the mission to remember our fallen heroes, honor those who currently serve and their families, and teach younger generations about the value of freedom. A $17 donation to Rafts Across America sponsors a fresh balsam remembrance raft. These rafts have become a symbol of America's respect for those who have served and who no longer walk with us. A sponsor raft today. Visit www.raftsacrossamerica.org. So, huge shout out to the sponsor today. And I want to dive into Celtics Nation Rise MVP now. So, we got four guys that could kind of have it, I would say, David. We'll start off with Jaylen Brown, who in 34 minutes had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, and shot 41.7% from the field goal. Again, he started out slow, I believe, and then picked it up, but still, great game from Jaylen Brown. Can't discredit it. Derek White, who in 36 minutes had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and shot 38.9% from the field goal. Again, feels good to finally say his name. I think we've been a little stressed out not saying his name a lot, but finally can say it tonight. Anthony Simons, who in 23 minutes had 25 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and shot 61.5% from the field goal. And I want to just really quick pause because I want to give another stat. In 9 minutes, had 23 points, a rebound, and 2 assists, and really helped the Boston Celtics when they needed him most. And I think that's very important, and that's going to really cause a debate because there's another guy, Luka Garza, who in 17 minutes had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and shot 87.5% from the field goal. And again, down the stretch, he was incredible and really caused the Celtics to get that win. But again, do you still get that win without those 25 points in the first quarter from Anthony Simons? First half, sorry. But I don't know. I'm very high on those two. But who do you have for your Celtics Nation Rise MVP, David?
I'm going to go with the one and only Luka Garza, just for his play down the stretch. I mean, you said it, where we wouldn't be in that game without the contributions of Jaylen Brown and definitely Anthony Simons early. Even though he didn't score in that second half, Simons was on a heater in that second quarter. Like, no one could stop him. He got up to 25 points at the half, which was great off the bench. But I just love what Luka Garza was doing in that fourth quarter specifically, picking up the defensive assignments, crashing the boards, getting the easy buckets down low, playing with great energy, as you said. So for me, it's got to be Luka Garza. But like, as you said, any of those guys that you mentioned could absolutely win the award. But I just love what I saw from Luka off the bench. And it's not easy to, play clutch crunch time minutes and come in off the bench in the fourth quarter. But I thought Luka Garza was great, easily his best performance of the season so far. So I'm going with Luka Garza for mine.
Yeah, I'm going to go a similar route. For your Celtics Nation Rise MVP for tonight against the Orlando Magic goes to Luka Garza because I'm going Luka Garza too. In 17 minutes, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and shot 87.5% from the field goal. And down the stretch, he was incredible. You can't discredit Anthony Simons and his performance because again, got a shout out in 9 minutes, had how many points? 23 points. I
Yep.
mean, incredible. How can someone score that much in 9 minutes? It's unreal. But ultimately, Luka Garza, I think his points were very valuable at the end. And, the Magic kept knocking on the door and Luka Garza kept responding. So, his clutch gene, down the stretch is incredible. And I want to give him some credit too, because this is a guy who has never been in crunch time. Anthony Simons is a guy who as a starter for the Portland Trailblazers, he was always in those games, but Luka Garza never really was. So that's why I got to give him credit and give him the Celtics Nation Rise MVP. Well, David, you technically gave the honors because I'm kind of forced to go off of what you say because we don't want to like get into like a little dispute. So
What would happen if there was a tiebreaker?
I because I keep
Do you
thinking
let
that
the fans on Instagram vote?
I guess so. I guess that's what we'd have to do. I think so because I think one time I had to call people because I think there was like a tie, so I think we had to call someone, but I don't know. We're yet to find out what has to happen, but I'm guessing probably like an Instagram vote. I would guess, but he was incredible and he deserved it. And I believe Anthony Simons will get a Celtics Nation. He's too good to not
Absolutely.
get a Celtics Nation Rise MVP. But tonight it goes to Luka Garza. But any final thoughts on this big win by the Boston Celtics?
No, I mean, just like I've said the whole episode, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but just love how clutch they were down the stretch. That was really making me excited last night, just seeing them execute in the clutch with Brown, White, and Walsh and the threes at the end. Playing exceptional defense when it mattered most. You know, it was a game of runs, right? Like Orlando had their chances to go on runs and they did, and we had our chances to go on runs and they did, and this just felt like a classic current era Celtics victory where we have our moments of dominance, we have our moments where we let go of the rope a little bit, but the Celtics bended, but they didn't break, and that's all that matters. So just a nice little win, and hopefully we can keep this going and get back to 500 on Tuesday.
Exactly. Would have preferred it this win on in-season tournament night, but again, I'm not like, oh, we need that. But it's nice. But good
Absolutely.
good team win again, like you said, this is helping us find our groove, I feel like. This is kind of finding our way. We're paving our own way. We're learning. We're a young team. We're unexperienced. We don't have correct chemistry. So this is really helping us work into that and become the team that we're waiting to see. This is a team where you want guys to succeed and, we just have to do it. Like, and for example, Minot played 16 minutes, didn't have any points, and had 2 rebounds, a steal, and a assist. So, like, again, this is kind of a testing year. Like, you're testing guys. Like, you show that Luka Garza can do it on one night. Josh Minot can do it on one night. So it's really a testing year, but I'm loving it, David. It's a different year, but it's a fun year. I have to say, there's ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster, but at the end of the day, it's Celtics basketball, and that's what I love watching.
And I'm 3-0 on Celtics Nation Rise recaps now. When I come on, every game I've done for the recap this year, we've won. So
We
got
gotta
to keep
keep it.
that going too.
We gotta keep that going. So David gotta keep joining these recaps. He has to. I
I
know
know.
that's a great time to come on with a win. Like that's the best time. And again, the Boston Celtics defeated the Orlando Magic with a final score of 111 to 107. And again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. Again, we will be bringing you recaps after every game to recap the stats, and head over to Celtics Talk Weekly to watch the post-game show after. So we will see you guys for the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, guys.
See you.